we have an eminent person, I would say an apt person for our today's session, Sri Murali Krishnan. Um, Murali sir has been an inspiring model for our students because he is an engineer from Amrita itself, an MBA graduate from NIT Calicut. Professionally, he's Assistant Director, Program Execution Services, EYGDS, and he's also currently serving Ayudh as state coordinator. So, in career wise, also, he's doing it wonderfully, and in coordinating Ayudh state-wise. We are a chapter of Ayudh Kerala, Amritapuri chapter, and he's been coordinating the whole chapter around other chapters in Kerala. So we are very much honored to have Murali sir with us today, and I should say his enthusiasm and energy which he has to balance both his profession and Ayudh activities is tremendous. So he'll be today having a conversation and session with us today. Welcoming you, Murali Cheta, to our Ayudh Sandhya session. Uh, Over to you, Murali Cheta.
Thank you, Amrita. Namaskar all. Very good evening to each one of you. Are you all, am I audible? Is it okay, Amrita?
Yes,
Can I
yes.
continue?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. So thank you. And Amrita, could you please ensure that Gayatri is a presenter? Because I'm not able to share my screen.
Yes, actually, she is a presenter.
Okay, okay. Thank you. So namaskar all. I'm really honored and happy that I've got this opportunity to meet all of you, interact with all of you. I think we are all going through a challenging phase. The whole world is going through challenging times. And during this unprecedented time, you all have started a new phase in your life, a critical phase in your life. And I'm very, very happy indeed that all of you have decided to register for Ayudh. And I just want to reassure that you have taken the right decision. So this is going to take you a long way. Let me underscore that point that, as Amritesh sir was mentioning earlier, Ayudh is a platform which will help you to pursue your passions, not just your, academics. Of course, it will help you to focus more, be better from an academic perspective, but it will also help you to pursue your other passions, right, outside academics. So you have taken the right decision, and welcome each one of you to Ayudh family. I've chosen today's topic as leadership. Now I know that this is a vast topic, and we may not have time to really get into the details, but we will, in the next 25 minutes or so, 25-30 minutes, I'll try and discuss on some of the aspects of leadership, and we'll also try and make this interactive. So please feel free to share your comments, your questions on the chat window. I'll try to cover that. I'll try to cover your questions during the presentation, and if I'm not able to, I will certainly make a note of it and come back to you with an answer. Right. So please feel free. Please take this as an informal discussion. And if you want to pass a comment, you can even request and unmute. And if you want to share any comment, please feel free to do that. All right. So we'll kick off the session with a short poll, and I want all of you to to go to www.menti.com and menti.com and use the code which is there on your screen, 8966429. I'll give you a couple of minutes. Your time starts now. So could you all go to www.menti.com, menti.com, and provide the code 8966429. There are only 2 questions. Don't worry, I'm not going to, this is not a test, right? So please go ahead and participate. Okay, I can see that some of you have started participating. Wonderful, very good. Come. Okay, good. Yeah, I'll give you 1 more minute. Others? Okay, 16 people have participated. Very good. Okay. Okay, more people are joining. Good, good. No. Sir, can I get the code? Okay, code is 8966429. 8966429. Right? www.menti.com. Okay, some of you have heard about Ayudh before joining the university. Very good. Good to see that. Okay. Good, good. Okay, can we move to the next question? Yeah. So please. Okay, very good. Very good. There are 2 participants who do not want to become a leader. That's interesting. Let's see after the session. Okay, 6 maybe. That's all right. Okay, 35 to 6. I think we've got fair number of people participating in this. So let's move on. So thank you all for participating in the survey. I'm happy to know that some of you had heard about Ayudh even before joining the university, and almost all of you want to develop leadership skills. So that's good to know that. I'm also, Amrita ma'am mentioned that, all of you had an induction program wherein Ayudh, there was an Ayudh session. So all of you have been briefed on the various activities, projects which are happening in the university as well as in other parts of the country and in the world, right? So you have got a fair understanding of the kind of impact Ayudh volunteers are making in the world. So good to know that. And if I am asked to, select some of the, if I'm asked to select top 5 Ayudh projects in the last couple of years, at least in Kerala, I would certainly choose Ayudh Sandhya as one of the top 5 initiatives. And I want to congratulate Amritesh sir, Amrita ma'am, and the organizing team for taking this, for organizing this program, because this is unique in many ways, right? Or if you take, if you see all Ayudh initiatives, all Ayudh programs will help you to develop your soft skills, right? It will help you to sharpen your personality. It will help you to develop your leadership skills. But Ayudh Sandhya is unique in a way that this is giving you an opportunity to get together, meet at least once in a week. In pre-corona world, it was more than once in a week, right? And I'm sure once you all are back to the campus, you will have more frequent sessions, and then get together and listen to various speakers, get an opportunity to participate in a number of activities, projects, which will help you to develop the leadership skills, right? Leadership skill is not something which is developed in a day, or you attend a leadership camp, come back, and you become a leader. It does not work that way, right? It is a transition. It happens over a period of time, right? It gets developed when you do things over and over and over, right? It's like this. I've put on a lot of weight, to be honest, in the last few months, ever since lockdown started. And I'm completely out of shape, right? Not that I was slim and before the corona days, not that, but I've put on a lot of weight. So I decided to go to, let's say I decide to go to gym. So I register and I start going to gym tomorrow morning onwards. So I spend an hour, sweat it out for an hour, come back, look at the mirror, and I'm not going to see any change, right? Next day morning, I again get up at 5:30, go to gym, spend an hour, give my 100 percentage, come back and look at the mirror. I'm not going to see any change. Same, I repeat that for a week. I will still not see any change. And then if I lose interest and drop off from the program, nothing happens, right? But if I am able to continue, if I am able to uh, passionately continue, going to the gym, if I'm able to persistently go to the gym for next 1 month or 2 months, then I will start to see a change, right? It's the same with leadership skills. You have to really get out of your comfort zone, right? It's easy to get comfortable, but if you're ready to put in your consistent efforts, if you're ready to get out of your comfort zone, only then we'll be able to develop leadership skills. It requires a lot of passion, persistence, and patience. I underscore, right? It requires a lot of passion, persistence, and patience from all of us if we have to develop these skills. And why do we have to develop these skills? And why are we organizing these programs, right? Because the future belongs to the youth. Future belongs to each one of you, provided we are ready to take the responsibility, provided we are ready to work towards that, right? The world is changing. It is becoming extremely competitive. And it was getting extremely competitive even before corona, right? Now after pandemic, the situation, right? It's becoming more complex. There are lots of problems in the world, right? Are indiscriminately we continue to destruct nature, right? Climate change, right? We have religious terrorism on one side. Every day we are seeing news updates related to fanaticism, right? The unemployment is going up. Recently I read that there are about 70 million youth around the world without jobs. This was before corona, this was before pandemic, right? This is again going to increase, right? So this world is really in need of leaders who have got the right direction, who are ready to selflessly work to bring a positive change in the world, right? Now when we come to India, Bharat, right, there are about 600 million people who are under 25 years of age. There's no country in the world which has more young people than India. Do you all get it? There's no other country in the world which has more young people than India. uh, Close to 60, I think 65 or 65, beyond 65%, more than 65% of our population is less than 40 years of age. Just imagine, just just think, of the potential we have. If we are able to guide them, if we are able to motivate them, right? If we are able to channelize this youth potential energy for national reconstruction, if we are able to use it for positive, changes in the society, imagine the change this is going to bring, right? I have no doubt, if we are able to achieve this, our country will be the best in the world. Bharat will become number one in the world, right? So we are passionately, pursuing this goal. We want to mold future leaders, and I'm sure by Amma's grace we will achieve that goal, because leadership is a rare commodity, and we've got to, as I mentioned, we don't have a choice. We have to mold leaders with courage, determination, and passion to transform our nation. And never ever doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. If you look at the world history, that is the only thing which has happened. And I'm sure some of you will think that, what is going to happen if 50 of us or 100 people, start doing something in a remote corner in Kerala, right? What change does it bring in the society? So that's where, I'm sure all of you are familiar with this word called ripple effect, right? And I just want to share one example. 6 years back, Amma, in one satsang, Amma spoke about a beautiful concept called Vishuddhainitam, wherein Amma said it will be beautiful if all of you can start, if elders can give, along with Vishuddhainitam, a sapling as well as Vishuddhainitam, right? So Amma spoke about this beautiful concept, and Ayudh members, started running a campaign based on this concept. So we ran a campaign which was very successful. We started distributing saplings across Kerala. And now when I look back, right, or for the last Vishu, or even ever since we started this campaign, a number of organizations have adapted this concept. They may not be calling it as Vishuddhainitam. They may be, distributing saplings, and they may call it in different names. But a number of organizations have really, got inspired, and they've started, um, uh, they've started distributing saplings, and they've started celebrating Vishu in a greener, way. And this year, even for Onam, I saw a number of organizations coming up with such green initiatives. So that's ripple effect for you. Now, let's quickly look at some of the qualities of a leader. And before I move on, I know I am switching between topics, so I'm talking in a staccato manner. So please bear with me, because we have very limited time, right? So let's look at some of the qualities of a leader. Now, any management textbook you take, or any leadership talk you listen to, there'll be various qualities, right? And there will be number of qualities listed. So I have chosen some of the qualities which were beautifully laid out by our former president, most respected Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He was asked this question in an interview, and where he said that a leader must have a vision, right? And we all know, a leader needs to articulate that vision again and again, which has to inspire his team to work towards that goal, his or her team, to work towards their common goal, right? So a leader must have a vision. A leader must be ready to take untraveled paths, right? As a leader, you will often need to take untraveled paths, and you will often need to travel alone, right? You will often have to swim against the current, against the flow. It is very easy to swim with the flow, right? And I'm sure you would take 9 out of 10 people will swim with the flow because it is very easy. But if you have to swim against the current, right, that requires a lot of courage. That requires a lot of determination. So a leader must be ready to take untraveled paths. And the next very important point is to be able to manage failures. It's easy to manage success, but you've got to manage failures as well. And Dr. APJ, shared a beautiful story of, when he was asked to take charge of a mission, SLV mission in 1973, and the goal was to get a satellite launched into the orbit by 1980. So that was the goal set, and he was given a team of scientists to work for that, and he was given other resources. So they started working. 5 years later, 1979, they prepared to launch the satellite. And final day, final test was happening. This computer system raised an alarm, said something is missing, not safe to go ahead with the launch. Then Dr. APJ had to go back to his technical experts. They had some discussion. They decided to go ahead with the launch. And the launch happened, but the mission was not successful. Right? It was a failure. And you can imagine 20 years back, there was a lot of focus, there was a lot of hope. And this happened in 1979. You can imagine the kind of news this would have made, right? And Dr. APJ had to give a press briefing. He made all the arrangements, and then he got a call from his leader, Satish Dhawan. And Satish Dhawan told him that, look, I will go and take the press briefing. Okay, I'll go and explain the situation. So he went in and he said, we have failed in this mission, but be rest assured, we will come back in a year's time and we'll get this done, right? Dr. APJ went back with his team, started working. Next year, they launched it and they were successful. Again, he had to give a press briefing. So Satish Dhawan called him again and he said, APJ, why don't you go ahead and do the press briefing this time around, right? So when the mission failed, leader took the entire responsibility for failure, right? And when it was a success, he was ready to give the credit of the success to his team. An important lesson in leadership, right? Now, the next one is to have the courage to take decisions. As leaders, you will often have to say no. Some of your decisions are not going to be popular. How are you going to do that, right? Do you have the courage to take decisions? Do you have the determination to take unpopular decisions? That's another critical aspect of leadership. And the last 2 points are, nobility in management, and the importance of bringing transparency into every action, right? being to have highest integrity. Now, we've looked at why we need leadership skills. We've looked at some of the qualities of leaders. And as Ayudhyans, we are all blessed that we have Amma to guide us, right? For any Ayudhyan, Amma is our supreme leader. Amma is our soul inspiration, right? And Amma is the best example we can give for compassionate leadership. The way Amma has inspired thousands and thousands of volunteers across the world, right? Tens and thousands of volunteers. They're working day in and day out, serving the society without expecting anything in return, right? The way Amma has given us a vision of a better world, the way Amma has inspired all these institutions to work towards that vision. I mean, I don't think we can give a better example of compassionate leadership. right? So we all are extremely blessed to have the guidance of Amma. So compassionate leaders are those who are not leading for their selfish interests. They lead based on the principle of seva or service to others, right? They lead without ego. They're leaders who are grounded. They're connected to the grassroots level, and they're ready to listen to the problem of others. They're ready to put themselves into others' shoes and listen to the problems, right? They lead with a servant attitude, and this is equally relevant if you look at the corporate industry, corporate world, right? This is equally relevant in the industry, and there is a lot of discussion, research happening in this on this topic. I recently came across an interview of Jeff Weiner, who's one of the most top performing CEOs in the industry today. So let me play that video for you. We'll play that video quickly. We'll spend a couple of minutes and then come back.
Million users of social networking site LinkedIn is gaining 2 new members every second. The man behind the company's success is CEO Jeff Weiner. He joined the company back in 2008 and has incorporated compassion into his philosophy of leading his employees. We traveled to LinkedIn's Silicon Valley headquarters in California and talked with this very unique CEO about his unique management style. I had never heard the term compassionate leadership until I met you and started reading about you. What is it exactly?
Compassionate management, compassionate leadership is about taking the time to put yourself in another person's shoes. I think within a company, a business, a team, I like to do that to help the other person achieve their objective or achieve what it is that you're trying to accomplish together more effectively.
Is it fair to say that compassionate leadership and compassion hasn't always been your strong suit, Mr. Jeff Weiner? I was reading about you, they said, he can be harsh. He used to be, his reputation. He was harsh, and he used his intelligence as a blunt instrument. That was hurtful. Is that a fair criticism of you?
Yeah, a word that you didn't mention that I would have thrown in there for good measure as we're rattling off that list of things I could do better. Very intense, and the intensity wasn't always channeled in a constructive way. I'm still intense, but I'm more conscious of how to manifest that intensity more constructively.
In just 8 years, CEO Jeff Weiner has grown LinkedIn's small staff of 338 to over 11,000 employees in various offices around the world today.
It's important that we laugh and have fun while we're doing what we do, or at least are in an environment.
I think I will, I'll share the link. Let me see if we can share the link in the chat, and so you all can go back to the video after the session and watch the whole video, or just search for Jeff Weiner. He's the CEO of LinkedIn, as I mentioned earlier, and he's passionate about compassionate leadership. He has put that as his core principle. The entire organization is being built around compassionate leadership. So as you listened, as you heard, compassionate leadership will put himself or herself in others' shoe and find a solution. Right? A true leader is one who reaches out to the needy without hesitation and without much questioning of the logic, but with a loving heart of compassion. Before we wrap up this session, I want to share a recent incident which happened. This was shared by an Ayudhian. So we keep hearing such acts of kindness, leadership, every day. But this particular incident, somehow this is very close to my heart, right? So one day in our Trivandrum group, a volunteer called Ashwin is a native of Nagarkoil. So he shared a couple of pictures in the group and said, he had to deliver some food for an old couple, and so he just shared some pictures. After seeing those pictures, I called up Ashwin and I tried to find out more about this incident. about that activity. So Ashwin was asked by Swamiji to go and inquire about an old couple in Nagarkoil. So he was given the address. So this place was about 35 kilometers away, and close to the forest. So this happened during, I think this happened a couple of months back. So pandemic was really at its peak in Tamil Nadu. So there was a lot of restrictions in terms of movement. But Ashwin managed to go there. And he reached this isolated place inside the forest, and then he started knocking on the door of this hut, and nobody opened the door. Right? And then after some time, he was able to hear a noise. Somebody asked him to push open the door. So he literally had to force open the door. He had to push it and open the door, and then he saw an old couple, completely bedridden. They were not even able to get up, and it was clear that they had not eaten anything for the last few days. So Ashwin had carried food and some fruits and all that, so he immediately provided that. And then he sat and he tried to find out what happened. So both of them were sick, and they were not able to move. So Ashwin gave them food and all that. Spent some time by that time it was evening, late evening, so he had to go back to his house. So he called up Swamiji and explained the situation. And Swamiji thanked him for providing food materials. But Ashwin simply could not get over this incident, right? He was not able to sleep at that night. He was just not ready to leave them alone. So he decided to go back to their place next day morning, and get them some medical help. Then so the next challenge was for him to get some medical support. So he started reaching out to various hospitals in and around Nagarkoil, Kanyakumari area. And as you can imagine, during the peak of pandemic, all the hospitals were overcrowded, so he did not get much support. Finally, he got a contact of a doctor in medical college and spoke to them, and they agreed to admit this couple if he is able to bring them to the hospital. So the next challenge was to arrange an ambulance. So he started reaching out to various ambulance service providers. Again, there was a lot of difficulty. Finally, he was able to get hold of an ambulance. So he went back, to their place along with the ambulance, and got them, admitted to medical college. And then he provided all his contact details to the doctor, and he also got connected to a nurse. He was able to provide the details, and so he said, for any requirement, he can be contacted, and he ensured that he will arrange it for them. Unfortunately, we couldn't save the life of that old mother, although she was given, good care, good. She was well taken care, but then we could not save her life. But the old father is now discharged from the hospital, and Ashwin again contacted an old age home, and through Swamiji's help, he was able to get him admitted to the old age home. So he's currently, doing well in the old age home. So when I reflect on this whole incident, right, Ashwin had a couple of choices in front of him. First option was for him to, when Swamiji called, Ashwin could have easily said no to Swamiji, because this was 35 kilometers away and there were a lot of restrictions. And so he could have easily said, he could have easily asked Swamiji to, arrange someone who's closer to this place. He did not do that. Okay. Next, he went met them, delivered food. He could have, called up Swamiji and he gave a report, and then he could have asked Swamiji to arrange someone else to provide medical support. He did not do that. Right. Next day morning, he started contacting various hospitals. They turned down his request, and I am sure 9 out of 10, if I were in his position, I would have probably, after contacting a couple of hospitals, I would have said, this system is not working. Government is not doing their job. Nothing is working in this country. This is not happening. I would have complained about the situation, and I would have said, what can I do? I want to help, but the system is not supporting me. And I would have left it there, right? But Ashwin did not do that. He went. He was determined, right? He had the courage to find out, to seek for help. He reached out to various people, right? Finally he got help, and he was able to provide them the much needed support. And so when I asked him what inspired you to do that, he said, I felt that as Amma's kid, as an Ayudhyan, it is my responsibility. And if I don't do this, Amma will not be happy. I felt Amma, gave me this opportunity to help them, and I didn't want to leave that. And it was my responsibility to do that. Now, to me, this is an excellent demonstration of compassionate leadership, right? The way he has supported this family. This is compassionate leadership in action, right? And I want to leave you all with this quote from Swami Vivekananda, that a few conscious-hearted, sincere, and energetic men and women can do more in a year than a mob in a century. I want all of you to repeat with me. A few conscious-hearted, sincere, and energetic men and women can do more in a year than a mob in a century. I sincerely hope and pray that all of you will passionately continue to participate in Ayudh Sandhya program, as well as other Ayudh initiatives. And I hope and pray to Amma that Amma showers her grace on all of us. And I'm also hoping, and my prayers to Amma, that all of us will be able to get over the current situation and go back to the campus. I'm sure all of you are really looking forward to meet your new friends. And I look forward to that day when we can all meet in the campus. With that, let me, wrap up this session. I offer my words at the feet of our Guru, Amma. Vande Mataram. Amrita, back to you.
Thank you so much, Murali sir, for your prayers and wishes that each one of us becomes a very compassionate and passionate leader. And also, just not as normally in every after one session, everyone today, that was an inspiring talk. But from my heart, from bottom of my heart, I'm really telling, it was really a motivating session for each one of us, because you actually lighted upon what a leader, what Ayudh aims in making each one of us being a compassionate leader. And and you also stressed upon Amma's note on a real servant becomes a real leader. So and we are very much, I'm sure that we would all become a passionate and compassionate leader by swimming against the current with Amma's divine blessings. Thank you so much for this wonderful, insightful session, Murali sir. Thank you so much. So now we have come to the end of our Ayudh Sandhya session for today. So next week we'll be having another session with another speaker with us, a person with us to interact, to give you some activity. But I won't be letting you know what it would be, or because I want you to come and experience it. What is going to be done in the next session. So all the details would be updated in the group. And in case if you have any queries or questions, you can put it in the chat box, or you can ping in the WhatsApp also later. So thank you everyone for joining in our Sandhya session today. Please participate continuously in every session, because it's for you people. We are compiling a lot of people from outside and bringing them forward for you, so that you have a clear view of yourself and how to mold yourself. Okay, so we'll be seeing you probably next Saturday with another session. Um, one more thing, Melissa, do you have any activity for them to be given?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah,
We have to give a homework.
yeah,
So thanks for reminding me. No, it will be good. Again, if all of you could, could just identify a leader who has really inspired you, and if you can prepare one slide on what are the qualities you see in him or her, the leadership skills you see, and so if you can prepare a slide and send it to Ayudh email ID, that will be helpful. And it could be anyone. It need not be a celebrity. It could be your friend or your relatives, or whoever it is. But highlight the leadership qualities you see in that person. Right. That's the most important point. Right. So and you can send it to Ayudh ID. Amrita, I'm not sure if do you want to share the Ayudh ID, or is it a...
yeah. We'll be sharing the Ayudh ID with the
Okay.
students in the chat box.
Okay, sure. Yeah, thank you once again for reminding me. I'm sorry I missed that. Thank you.
That's totally fine, Melissa. So you have got a homework also, a simple one. It doesn't take much time, because you need to identify a leader and you need to jot out the personality. So he has instructed you what to do. So take some time. Tomorrow is a weekend, or sometime you need to submit it before next session, which is before Friday. I'll be putting down the Ayudh email ID so that you can send it via mail. So waiting to see all of you in our next session. Nam Shivaya.